So the movie releases and shit all getting pushed.
Yeah, because they're doing it with the new Top Gun. They did it with Bill and Ted. They did it with A Quiet Place Part 2. They did it with The King's Man. They did it with...
The King's Man.
Like everything. The Marvel movies.
So what are some of your most anticipated movies that never came out?
Like haven't
That's
come
my
out?
question.
Okay, so first of all, I've been
guys?
waiting for the New Mutants since 2017.
Yeah.
So that's been pushed back 40 billion times.
That poor movie.
I know, gosh. And then I really like the Bill and Ted movies, so I'm excited to see the third one. And I heard for the third one that they're going to do a worldwide release, not in North America, but a worldwide release on, I believe, August 26th. And then in North America, they're going to release it on video on demand on September 4th, but in limited theaters. And I'm hoping they're showing it in the Ellensburg one, in the Ellensburg theater for limited theater showings. So I also really want to see The King's Man. And Quiet Place Part 2 got delayed, and I'm pissed.
I'm definitely the most excited for Tenet, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
For me, like 100, like it was my most anticipated before all of this shit happened, and it's still my most anticipated. And then after that, I would have to say Antlers. I was really excited for. Who knows when we'll be able to see that?
That's 2021, I believe,
Yeah,
now.
so-
It's super interesting to see Mulan and Tenet go back and forth, because there was a while where Tenet was supposed to be the first movie that was going to come out when coronavirus ended. And then Mulan pushed its release date forward, and Tenet moved back, and then Mulan moved its release date back, and then Tenet was in front. And then it's just, they keep swapping back and forth on what's going to be the first worldwide release in regards to North America, whether it's going to be Mulan or Tenet. So just, it swaps.
What about you?
I'm obviously also really excited for Tenet. And then also, you know, Edgar Wright's horror movie. That was, yeah.
Well, did that have a release date?
Yeah, it was supposed to come out in
Wait.
December, the end of this year.
What movie?
It's called Last Night in Soho.
Oh.
It's an original movie. Edgar Wright, he's doing like a... Yeah, I know.
I confused the guy that did The Witch and The
Just do
Lighthouse
it again.
again. Because I was like, oh, Nosferatu?
Robert Eggers.
He
Gosh,
did it
I
again.
always confuse Robert Eggers and Edgar Wright.
Did Edgar Wright direct The Lighthouse?
Gosh. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm excited for Nosferatu also, but no.
What else?
He's doing a Nosferatu movie?
Yeah,
That's
and I'm
cool.
stoked. I love the original, and no one could be more perfect to make that movie.
But yeah, Last Night in Soho. It's like a horror thriller weird thing. It sounds like there's time travel involved, so you might be interested in it.
Shit.
It takes place in like 1960s London.
That's like the thing. If it like involves the 80s, or it has like a 20-minute runtime, or it
Tom
or it
Cruise
has
in it.
Tom Cruise,
Yeah.
or time travel, they're like, Micah, you're gonna love this.
Or codes.
How often are we wrong?
Actually, a lot.
I mean, if it includes one of those things.
I'll find one.
Okay.
I'll fucking find one.
I didn't even think about this until just now, but I was really looking forward to the French Dispatch.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even
me
though I
too.
didn't think it looks like amazing, because, you know, like, I love the people he casts, but like some of the people he casts in the movie, I wasn't like a big fan of, so like I wasn't like hyper looking forward to it. But yeah. But I'm very excited still.
I'm also excited for that.
I'm a really big Wes Anderson fan.
I'm listening.
Me
Okay.
too.
I don't know.
Wasn't there a trailer that was already released for it, and it has
Yeah,
Timothy
Chalamet. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm just not the. You know,
I
I'm
know
not the
every
biggest
time I
fan.
look at Wes Anderson's trailers, it's really hard to encapsulate what his movies
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
are. So I don't like the trailer, but I'm still like excited for it. I think the trailer's kind of bad, but I'm still excited for the movie because
It's also and it's also a thing too with like Anderson. His style has been getting it's throughout his movies. It gets more and more prominent as they go
Yeah.
along.
It looks like the most Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah,
thus
and it's
far.
like Grand Budapest, or was that the one he? No, it was Isle of Dogs was last, but like, yeah, it's definitely getting. He's becoming exactly what, you know, he's almost falling into
I feel like that's almost what Tim Burton did, where everybody's like, "You do this spooky thing."
I
Yeah.
agree.
With black
Yeah,
and
He's,
white.
he's become a parody of himself.
A parody of himself a
Exactly,
little
yeah.
bit. I'm worried Wes Anderson will be in that category at some point,
Maybe.
but we'll see. I'm still looking forward to it.
I've only ever seen Rushmore. That's the only.
Really?
It's the
Anderson.
only one.
You haven't seen the Grand Budapest Hotel?
No.
Fuck, man.
I
You
want
would,
to.
You'd love them.
Oh,
You'd,
yeah.
you'd love a lot of
I
his
feel like
movies.
it's totally your sense of
Yeah, it
humor.
is. It totally is.
I'm also interested to see in like 2021 if we have or even 2022 if we have a big gap in which, because movies haven't been made for the last several months because you couldn't have large gatherings. I'm curious if there will be big gaps in the future of like a few months that don't have very many prominent films just because you weren't able to film then, so you have to make up for it during that time, if that makes any sense.
Like less movies being released, basically.
Yeah, because no one's being able to film these last 4 months, and so next year maybe less movies
Maybe,
will
but
come
you
out.
have to understand that so many movies that were supposed to come out haven't yet, so it's going to be like this balance, you know?
What I think is going to happen is we're going to have this massive movies that are going to come out all at once, and then it'll be like,
Nothing. for
yeah,
a
it'll
while.
be like nothing for
Maybe.
probably a couple months or something.